Raising children when both parents work is what we're talking about today in the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler. Now I'm joined again by Anky Balfoort from Cohesive Coaching, yeah?
That's right.
Nice
to see you again.
Yeah, that's great. Now, we talked in the last video about the Triple P program from University of Queensland, so positive parenting program, yeah?
That's it. Yeah.
And it's gone around the world. 4 million children have done well from it, apparently. So,
yes.
But let's talk a bit more about, in this video, about the fact that a lot of parents, they're both working 30, 40, 50 hours a week, you know. How do you raise children in that environment, you know?
Right. So, yes, it's a very good question because it's very relevant today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important for parents to have positive parenting at home so they notice the good behaviour in their children, predominantly. They also have quite firm boundaries, but boundaries with love is what I like to call it. You know, they have, whoever is looking after their child, if they are not, for example, an au pair or a childcare centre, is that they have similar values and morals to what they have.
Yeah, okay.
So that there's an alignment in the family.
Yeah, so just exploring that a little bit. So what's an example of like a boundary that you're saying? So what are we talking about? Is that time on the computer, is it all? Yeah,
so that's also very relevant, John, because there is a lot of concern at the moment about screen time and, you know, understandably so with all the technology we have. And I'm also quite concerned about it, and I have a lot of questions that parents ask me about it, both in the Triple P workshops that I run and in the coaching sessions as well.
But if the parents are both off at work for 30, 40, 50 hours a week, how do they enforce those boundaries around screen time?
So I think it's important that whoever they hire to look after their children, that they have set rules around that. So they might say they can have half an hour at lunchtime, and then, you know, after they've done whatever they need to do to get ready for bed, they can have another half hour at night. And I think it's important to limit the time they have on the screen. You know, sometimes it can be very tempting for parents to put their children in front of a TV or give them the iPad or the computer for longer than that because it occupies them. The problem is it stifles their imagination, which is the first thing. And when kids don't have creativity, they don't have an imagination, it's very hard for them later on in life to imagine new things that they want to create for themselves. So that really concerns me to start, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because if you can't imagine what you want in life, you can't go, right, I want this nice house with this in it, or I want this kind of partner, or I want this kind of job. You know, this is what I want to do in my job. So the problem with technology these days is that everything is fed to children and there's just no need for creativity or imagination. Whereas in our day, going back to our day, is when we had to read, you know, think of stories ourselves or read books, you still had all the other senses that were being creative.
Oh yeah, no question about that. I mean, the Lego set for me was the thing. Not the Meccano, I couldn't afford the Meccano, but the Lego set did some incredible things with that, you know?
Exactly.
Build box girder bridges, you know, fortresses. It was incredible. But that creativity, and definitely an asset to me today, no question.
There you go, that's right. Well, you are thinking outside the square with what you're doing with your business, and that's where we need to go. Because in this world of, you know, global economy, we need to have competitive advantages, and that is to set us apart from other businesses doing things.
Okay, so screen time, bad for creativity, bad for children's future.
Well, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, very much so.
You've built a pretty solid case in my world anyway. So now how about this, continue the screen time thing. So even, you know, I've got friends in daycare and that sort of thing where, you know, I've heard them talk about like, we've got to conform to screen time, you know, to meet standards that the parents are saying. But then the parents aren't meeting those things. So it's got to be consistent across the whole system that's around your child,
Exactly. So parents need to model to children what they want them to do, because they are their children's first teachers, and they're very important because their children depend on them. They're helpless, vulnerable little creatures, and they want their love and approval. So it's very important that parents model what they want their children to do as well. Yeah. And my concern with too much screen time as well is that from when children play games, for example, they go into that fight or flight, you know, to get a lot of adrenaline in their system. And it was okay when they used to play outside, you know, cowboys and Indians chasing each other, where they go into a similar kind of level with a lot of adrenaline floating around their system, because they'd be running it off. So a lot of exercise gets rid of that. However, when they're sitting there focusing on the screen intently, all their hormones for fight and flight are rushing around their system, but there's no way for them to get rid of it.
Oh, it's just, right, they're just going round and round inside them.
Yes, and so what happens, which is what I noticed with my son, who's 24 now, and he's actually doing a master's in primary education because he loves kids as well.
Oh, okay.
And he's seeing it with the kids he works with, is that, you know, he would actually start, he was on the computer for a little, or the PlayStation as it was in those days, and then the adrenaline builder would make him so edgy and aggressive that he'd start bashing his sister, which is not a good situation.
Okay, yeah, no, that never flew when I was growing up either.
That's right, exactly.
Did it, sis?
So things haven't changed. So I instilled a rule where I'd say you can play on the screen for half an hour, and then you need to play outside for an hour.
Okay. And how about then the firmness and those sorts? We talked about the last video about the firmness and that sort of thing. Those 7 principles of the Triple P program, that sort of thing. So when you're actually with your child, I guess you got to focus in and make sure that you're living to a certain standard that
that's right. So,
communicates to them. So that quality time works in a quality way for your child's upbringing. Yeah?
Exactly. So your quality time, but quantity as well. So in Triple P, whenever a child comes to you, especially when you're working parents and they don't have a lot of time with you, is when they come up to you and they want to show you something or they want to ask you something, is to make time for them if you can. Now sometimes that's not feasible, but if you can do it when you can, that's a good thing, because often we notice bad behaviour in children, and then what we're actually doing is training them that if they behave, if they're naughty, that's when they'll get attention. So the whole premise of Triple P is creating positive relationships with children, which is why it's called positive parenting. And so we want to notice their good behaviour. We want to praise when we see what they're doing well.
Right, okay.
Right? And so when they come up to us and want attention, show us something, that's part of giving them that positive attention. Yeah,
no, I've seen it with a busy professional friend of mine that, you know, he even when I've spent time with him, he sits there on the computer and kind of ignores me.
Yes,
and I think, is he doing that to his children? Like that as a quality friend of his, I can sit there and put up with that for a while, but is he doing it to his, you know, I can do something else, you know.
That's right. And how does that make you feel?
Oh, well, you know, I drift off.
Yes, that's right. Yes, because he's not engaged, so you're not.
I had dinner the other night. I just went ahead and ordered main, and that's the thing.
Right.
Another glass of wine, you know.
Yeah,
so, you're here now, eh? You know.
But it also makes you feel unimportant, and kids need to feel that they're very important in their lives as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's some really great things around that. So I'm thinking, if there's any other pointers around sort of that we should explore in that. So when you do spend time, make sure it's quality time. Try and find as much time as possible.
Exactly. Yes, quantity is as important as quality.
And whoever else is participating in the raising of your child, be it an au pair or after-school care or whatever, that they do align with the values. That's probably the 3 important takeaways today, isn't it?
And the boundaries with love. That's also very important because kids need the security of routines. So if they know they can, you know, go this far but no further, that actually makes them feel better. Okay. If they have no boundaries, that makes kids insecure and it can make them anxious as well.
Oh, I've seen that demonstrated as well. Okay, now how do people find you, Anky?
Okay, so I've got a website called cohesivecoaching.com.au, so if you want to have a look at what I provide and want to give me a call as well, you can send me an email at anky@cohesivecoaching.com.au.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay, Anky, well done.
Thank you.
You're media trained. You seem very good.
I've had some training from you, John. Thank you.
No, that's all right. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the eCentral Business Show today.
Thank you
we'll
very
speak to you next time.
All right.
Okay, that's enough from me. I'm John Nayler. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the eCentral Business Show. What we're doing on the eCentral Business Show is we're bringing you business leaders and the best of the knowledge. We want to bring them on the show and release that content so that that's something that we can share with you by this easy to consume format. So you can follow us across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google+, or just regularly visit the eCentral.com.au/show website, pick out the best things for you and educate yourself on that premise. Now there's video content there for you, so you can just watch the video and inform yourself in your own time. We've also now podcasting that content as well, so it's really simple to consume. You can listen to it on the way to work in the car or during your daily exercise regime. Beyond that, we're also looking to connect with business experts. So if you consider yourself to be an expert in your field, please make contact so we can schedule you in and have you come on the show, so you can release your content and increase your brand across our format. Beyond that, we also invite people to send us their email address so we can send you our monthly magazine. And that's just the best of the content, the best of the videos for the month, put out once again in an email, arrives in your inbox, so you can just go through and pick out the things that are really going to educate you and advance you in your field of expertise and in business. We're a business-focused show. So thank you very much once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.